Hey, afternoon, y'all. I just woke up from a nap and lo and behold, I've got another TDS relative. Awesome. Let's talk about this DEI thing, shall we? First of all, the DEI came out during Obama and it evolved into greater and greater necessity of concern. Okay? I am pretty well versed in the medical arena. Not a doctor, but well versed. And I am aware of birth defects that cause situations that are very rare to occur where the parents have to decide what gender to make their child because they are born with both or partial or something of that accord that puts them in a genderal category of hermaphroditic. Okay? And then there are the few out there, the few who longed for, because inside they knew that they were female in mind, male in body. Few. There was a couple of females over the course of a couple. Not all. Not every child that walked the face of the earth required getting groomed by their school teacher into thinking they could be whatever sex they wanted to be. And so you had a bunch of little kids running around gender switching because one teacher started this fucking cuckoo train. Instead of letting little kids grow up and decide for themselves. This is where our president decided to come in and put his foot down. If this type of sociological fad was going on when I was growing up, I may not have just one brother, I would have had two. Because I'm sure, the government or whoever the powers that be, they were talking about going and letting little kids transgender without parents' permission. That's where he said enough is enough. When it got to that point. With that being said, if this had been a fad when I was growing up, then the government could have just taken my little sister away who dressed like a boy until she was fucking 12 and gone and changed her without my mother's consent. You see the importance of having fucking limits? Does the world not understand that the reason President Trump did this is because qualified people were not being allowed to get hired, even though they overqualified as they were normal, but because this law almost required to put a freak show in the fucking seat or the position for fear of getting a lawsuit for fucking discrimination, even though the normie was fucking overqualified. That's where shit rolls downhill. No one is giving up their friends because of DEI. I have a huge population of multi-racial friends. And you know what? We all have something in common. None of us want to fucking change our sexes. But even if I had one that did, I wouldn't look down on them. Be like, okay, you finally made a decision. That's your decision. Just tell me what your name's going to be when you're done. And say, for example, this person who was tranny went and got this operation, but still had the skills of a concrete mixer operator. I know my job would hire him without question. What you do behind closed doors is none of our fucking business. Our job is our job. However, when the credentialing and or marking for skill level in certain occupations that do require a life or death decision in that making, and the normie gets pushed aside even though they are qualified or have better qualifications than the DEI weirdo who hasn't made a decision to cut his junk off. He's just a man who likes to wear dresses. Which puts another factor into this crazy rant, and that is the fact that these weirdos who like to go into women's bathrooms around your young children, a lot of them are fucking pedophiles. A lot of them are using it as an excuse to get close to your kids. Some of them ain't, but a lot of them are. I'm going to throw a few little examples out there where this man makeup wearing, thing has always been accepted. Nobody gives a shit. But none of these men who wear makeup wanted to chop their shit off and scare children in bathrooms. The transitioning process or the decision in itself is a personal one and a private one. And it does not need to be groomed into small minds and children. It's got absolutely nothing to do with race as a whole. Racism is fucking dead here. We all bleed red. Our genetics qualify us for different anomalies in the medical, issue category. But other than that, we all bleed red. We're all human. We all have a brain. We have bones. We have a spine. And if we're not a sociopath, we all have feelings. If we're not a psychopath, we have a conscience. If we're not a narcissist, we have empathy and compassion. If we're not ADD, we can multitask and not lose our place. The psychological fuck-ass fuckery that has been manipulated into the minds of all of these twisted fucks who come up with this crazy shit that I had to wake up to from my own sister's fucking page. I'm like, what kind of fucked up Delulu fucking land, misguided, crazy crockpot fucking cookery what are you fucking smoking, hooker? The only reason this DEI even came out of the fucking woodworms is because Michelle is trans. And Obama was gay. And they thought that it would be a good idea to start it slow. So then they started letting the teachers indoctrinate these young, innocent little fucking minds into thinking a certain way. And now you got 75% of the population under the age of 15 running around thinking that they're in the wrong fucking body. And then you've got the crazy cuckoo fucking TDS people, yes, my two sisters, thinking that the rest of us don't fucking accept it. There's certain levels of it that we accept. What we don't accept is you brainwashing our fucking children. That's the first thing. Sexual and gender reassignment is a private fucking matter. There's a bunch of celebrities out there who've done it and nobody even fucking knows that that's happened. The only reason they know that happened is because it's on YouTube. And you know what? They're not that popular to any of us to take notice. Yeah. There's a bunch of them. It's like, oh, I remember that movie. Oh, wow. That dude's a girl now? Oh, he's pretty. Okay, moving on. The other topic of discussion that makes me fucking cuckoo-dookie. Us as women can tell you, if we have served in the fucking military, any man who thinks it's better to be a girl in the military is out of their goddamn mind. You don't get treated no different. You get talked down to, you get smoked the same, you get insulted, you get called out. It ain't no different. You don't come into the armed forces as a male and then change your fucking mind after you're in. That's the problem. They started to let that be allowed. No, we need male forces. Now, yeah, we had a lot of females who could have fucking, probably kicked ass on the SEAL team. Natural athletes. But that's not all of them, and it certainly is not all males who feel like they just want to be a female. You know what? Go get your sex change. Okay? On your own money. Get out. Go get your gender reassignment. And then come back in. Okay? You're not going to be walking around with your junk still intact going into a female shower. Ain't going to happen. And you'll wear the appropriate gender uniform when we are in dress uniform. You're not going to grow your hair long. Wear it in a bun. You can abide by the regulations as your gender is assigned. As it is at birth. You want to get out of the military and go chop your junk off and walk around in drag and wear a dress? That's all power to you. The general population doesn't give a fuck anymore. You're an adult. You can do whatever the hell you want. You want to dye your hair 20 different colors and look like a tropical fish? That's your prerogative. We've got people walking around this day who dress up as women, are absolutely beautiful, and they are sane. And totally probably in line with me in this topic. And they probably are gay, or not, or maybe pansexual. Doesn't matter. They still think the DEI is stupid. And the pronouns are stupid. A couple name drops. Boy George. Jeffree Star. Back in the 80s, fucking hairbands. They wore more makeup than females did. Girls thought they were wonderful. They used more hairspray than me. But they didn't run out and chop their dicks off. The appearance thing has always been accepted. Nobody gives a shit. We don't give a shit about race. We don't give a shit about however, men wearing makeup. If you look better in it, fucking wear it. We don't give a shit. These are Trump supporters. We don't care what you look like. Just have a brain in there. Have some common fucking sense. So when my sister put this post out and it mentioned race and pointing fingers at Trump trying to divide the country. No, he's not trying to divide anybody. He's trying to make it a point that you do not need a program forcing the general population into compliance. You don't need a program so people will accept each other. We already accepted each other. But where this program went wrong was when they tried to start indoctrinating our children. And parents started struggling with trying to get their kids to think unprogrammed. It's when it evolved into the military, and our military started looking like a fucking circus sideshow. To each his own on gender reassignment. But if you're going to do it, do it. There's no, unless you're born with the defect, then yeah, you can probably say, yes, I am. I'm hermaphroditic. But I identify as both. I've never been able to decide. I kept both sex organs. Because, yeah, there's people out there that have that birth defect. It's more like a chimeric twin defect. Those parts of that twin didn't get dissolved and or segregate from the body. So there's part of one in there. When they split, didn't split. Just got intermingled in the rest of the process of the one child actually coming into fruition. There's some that have the extra, the third chromosome on their stuff. Because it's very distinctive physical. Them, I would probably give an open door to have a choice. If they have that condition. The point is this. They had started to use the DEI as a means of hiring the weird. Did I say race? No. The weird over the norm. So Tropical Fish Boy was getting hired even though the black man was qualified. More than qualified than Tropical Fish. So there ain't no race issue in it. It's psychological fucking manipulation. From the past one administration, skip one, then before that. We had 8 years of that. As it evolved. Twisted everybody's head. But during the 80s, we had Boy George, and now we have Jeffree Star, and everybody loves them. Nobody cares. And neither one of those men are trying to convince other men that are gay that they need to chop their dicks off. And no, not all gay men want to chop their shit off and gender reassign. And not all women who are lesbians want to go and gender reassign. There's a lot of women, they dress masculine. There's a lot of men who are gay and they dress feminine. And that's okay. But they're not trying to force their foot into an occupation over somebody else who was overqualified. And a lot of these people, up until this point, knew that they were not going to be able to get away with doing that in uniform. You want to dress up in drag after that fucking, bomb goes off and they play taps at the end of the day. You want to go, you want to go play, in your drag club and dress up as a woman after hours. You earn money doing that. It's like a little side job while you're active duty in the military. And you're good at it. By all means, go ahead. But you do not, by any means, should be allowed. And it makes absolutely no sense why they allowed it. To let a man dress up like a woman in uniform. See, my sister's a little bit delusional because she thinks it's Trump trying to divide us. He's not trying to divide us. No. DEI is dead. It should have never even existed. Because we all accepted the crazies anyway. We didn't care. You don't hurt me, I won't hurt you. Period. And DEI has got nothing to do with race. At all. It's got nothing to do with it. So my sister can go get that fucking concept and shoot that out the fucking window. You little Delulu land. Go be cuckoo somewhere else. Try to force that shit on me. That's what sociological brainwashing does to very intelligent people. Because I will admit, my sisters are very intelligent. They're very smart. But they've been brainwashed by society because of where they live. These two. Now me and my sister, the other one that's here with me, yeah, we don't think like them. Yeah, because we live in a society that doesn't give a fuck about DEI. There's a dude walking down the road. We know it's a dude, and he's wearing makeup and shit. And if it looks better than mine, I'll be like, hey, I love your mascara. It looks great. I don't care. But where DEI crossed the line was when they were starting to put the cuckoo train ahead of the normals, and the normals were overqualified. We were getting pushed out of positions because we were normal. Now, I'm not normal. I have dreadlocks. But they're coming into normalcy. It's a hairstyle. I'm not going for gender reassignment surgery. Nor would I ever consider it. But, point being, if this was a sociological norm when I was growing up, I may not have a little sister. I'd probably have a little brother. And my two nieces wouldn't exist. Just saying. Peace.